Welcome in to the latest episode of the Need for Seats College Basketball Podcast, presented to you by nobody. Yes, you weren't expecting us. We're back. There's no college basketball to discuss for a while, though we'll probably work some in here. I have at Big East Ben, at A Brooks Bets. Tonight's episode, we are going live into the Kentucky Derby, getting ready for Churchill Downs. One on this podcast knows a ton more than the other two. So I'll start with at Big East Ben. What are you thinking about with this Kentucky Derby this Saturday?
First thing I searched was, does Rick Pitino own any horses that are running?
College basketball is already in.
On Saturday. I mean, St. John's was money down the stretch, won the Big East tournament. I was looking to continue that momentum. Unfortunately, he doesn't. I think the last horse he owned a share of that ran was in 2013. But excited to talk a sport where you can't get closing line value and the house takes 15 to 20% vig off the top.
A Brooks Bets, you're actually the one who probably knows the dirt, the mud, whatever weather, which I'll get into in a little bit. But please introduce us to your experience. Have you been to Churchill Downs? Because I have.
I was at Churchill Downs about 2 weeks ago.
We were how about let's rephrase for the Kentucky Derby? Have you been?
No, I have not. I did see American Pharoah win the Triple Crown at the Belmont in 2015. So that's my best in-person live horse racing experience. I was at the top of the stretch and he was going to do it. That was not one of the best races I've seen in my life, but we will get to that later. My mom grew up in Kentucky. My uncle has horses, not thoroughbreds, but draft horses. And anyway, I've just always liked the ponies. So here we are, first Saturday in May. It's on my calendar every year. Have a big party. About 50 people come over. I fire up the grill and we get to cooking some Kentucky stuff.
Anyone in Syracuse, except for the guy that shot his son and his partner or something like that. Was reading about that today because that's how I kill time at my job currently. Don't let him come, but everything else, I think he's locked away for the rest of his life anyway. But look up at A Brooks Bets on Twitter. You can maybe get an invite and get some butts that's going to get smoked out there. So checking into the weather, because that's usually a thing. When I went, it was pretty nasty, more gray, I think, than rainy, but it was what it was. Baker Mayfield got me pushed out of the way by a security guard, which was really not my favorite experience because that guy's haunted my life for a long time. But that's my probably greatest memory, not fondest, of Louisville, Kentucky, and Churchill Downs. But weather, it looks like 59 degrees on Saturday. Precipitation, a 10% chance, which I feel like will certainly increase as we get closer to the day. A Brooks Bets, what do you feel about weather in the Kentucky Derby, and how does that impact things?
I think that track takes on water, no problem. It'll be fast. I don't think we'll have a deluge or any problem with a wet surface. We'll be running fast tracks, which is good because it makes handicapping a little easier, since looking at the history, most of these 3-year-olds have only pretty much raced on fast tracks. So there wasn't much sloppiness to glean from it. And I'm glad we'll get a true race as much as you can with 20 horses all at once.
Big East Ben, how do you feel about the turf and dirt conditions?
Yeah, I mean, being a mudder is very important. You need to know if the horse's mother was a mudder. So I always look at lineage when precipitation is on the horizon.
Right. Yes. You as a mother. Very interesting start to that sentence for sure. I wasn't aware, but congratulations. And we'll move on and announce some horses. So I'll go through, I guess, in order of who these horses are. A Brooks Bets. He will lead us through the promised land, of course, as we get further along down this episode. But looks like in the post positions, we have Renegade at 4-1 odds, courtesy of 8 hours ago at Kentucky Derby on Twitter. Renegade, the one shirt, one scarf, one whatever the heck is put on. We got a scratch of Silent Tactic. Other interesting numbers are Commandment, number 6 horse at 6-1. Further Ado at the 18 is 6-1 also. And then we have an 8-1 Chief Wallaby. Reminds me of my shoes in high school. And then the Puma is a number 9 horse at 10-1 odds. Where would you like to begin of those horses, A Brooks Bets?
All right. So you read off the morning line odds, which is one guy at Churchill Downs who makes all of the morning line odds, what he thinks should happen, and that's what it is. And then, as Ben alluded to already, it changes. And even when you bet it after that, it changes. And then there are multi-million-dollar computers that bet it 10 seconds before the race, and it changes again.
Question.
Yes, sir.
You can't place a bet after the gates open, right?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure.
Fun fact, the early times, the bell that sounds to start the horses out of the gate is actually the bell that stops wagering. That's how they didn't have a starting gate way back when they were doing this in the 1800s. So the bell would stop wagering, and then the horses would run.
Got it.
So yeah, they'll take it all the way back, all the way to the end. But yes, you cannot place bets after it's over.
So if you're betting on a sports book throughout the world that probably does it a little bit differently than Churchill Downs, they are putting numbers out there and you're betting into those numbers. At the actual racehorse, it's really just a collection of what the bets are, and they're projecting what it should be or what they think it'll be. But that's changing throughout this week and likely a lot when the money really comes in on Saturday. Is that correct?
Correct. $100 million, about $100 million or more will come in like at the track itself. And then plus with all the sportsbook apps now, you can bet on horses pretty easily, whether it's TVG app or Fan Race Duel, Fan Book, whatever, they've all got it, which actually adds some interesting angles that I will touch on a little bit as we go through the field. You can bet just matchups. Like you can bet number 6 versus number 8. And if you think, all you got to do is beat that one horse. So it's kind of new to the game, at least in the sports book, and those odds won't change. You know what I mean? Like you'll just lock those kind of special bets on the side in your regular DraftKings app for those states that allow, or whatever book you choose. Those are interesting bets, and they're kind of new to the game. But yeah, it's pari-mutuel betting. Everything changes all the time, and you just get the odds that happen at the bell.
Are there any prop bets? Like, could I get like 100-1 odds a horse is shot out on the track?
Probably not that one, but yes, you can do like the race time, the race winner time over under 2 minutes and 1. There are different, how many horses from the Florida Derby you're going to finish in the top 4. I mean, there's different props like that for sure. Different ways to approach the race. I'd really I
remember there's a filly a few years ago that was euthanized on the track. I remember that. Hopefully there's no prop for that, because I feel like there might be some shady dealings, considering the Texas Tech quarterback just already went into gambling rehab, apparently, before his $5 million contract came up, and for cross-pollinating with another sport. Where are you going to go, Brooks?
I don't know. Not important. We'll move on.
Well,
but I'd like to start with
Renegade. Let's talk about the drama. Before we get to the horses, let's talk about the drama that has come up this week, which Biggie Spen alluded to in our text chat. You want to lead us in, Biggie Spen, where that piqued your interest?
Well, I don't know much about it. I read the one article by Dan Woken on Yahoo about these. It sounded like high frequency trading operations, CAW, that analyzes trends and he gave an example of some horse who like a minute, 2 minutes, you could get them before at like 15-1. And then end up winning and end up paying out like 6-1. So just wondering how those algorithms operate.
That will happen much less frequently, or the changes will be much less in the Derby itself, because there's so much public money and it won't change all that much. If you're betting Gulfstream on a Wednesday, then in February, then yeah, I mean, somebody might come in with a big bet, change the odds right at the last minute that you've had locked in for even just a minute before, and you don't get what you thought you did. And it's kind of encouraged by the industry because it's more money bet on the sport, and they're not doing anything to stop it or slow it down. So it is happening. And I mean, you got to figure out where these guys are talking about. I mean, it's the same thing too. Like if we talk about college basketball, we can tell you a line and say, don't bet it before or after this line. If I'm a horse expert, I'm not going to tell you what I actually want if I'm really going to bet on it, because I don't want a bunch of people following me, all of our hundreds of thousands of followers on this channel, to start betting what I bet and crash my odds. And so it's a very interesting thing. That's where the programs come in, and just watching the horse and finding some angle you like, and even the name of the horse or the color of the horse, all that stuff kind of just happens when the public sees all these for the first time on Saturday, and you roll with it. It's kind of part of the pageantry. It's part of the deal.
What's
So
the
it sounds
handle of the Kentucky Derby compared to like the?
You can think about that for a second, but it sounds like we're doing a service to the people, and I just want to make sure everyone knows about that while we're doing this.
The handle, I mean, I just saw that twinspires.com handled 70 million last year. So if you extrapolate that by however many books that people race, I mean, it's probably $1 billion.
And then there's also the untracked off the literal books that is happening. And I imagine some guy calling up his guy to get a pick in is probably not tracked there and might be about the same, I would think.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting game. Bet for fun. Don't bet to make money. Not in the Derby. Like you said, there's 20% VIGs. It's like betting golf more than anything. You know, it's a whole field. I mean, you're not betting one versus another. We on here we don't do parlays, or I don't. We don't think we preach parlays on this channel. You guys don't. You know, it's just like you just one versus one, okay. But this is 1 versus 19, and it's crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna get to the horses now. We'll come.
I put together some exotic picks, so
that's the fun part. That's where that's like a slot machine where you can hit the jackpot and make a ton of money. That's another part of it, which is kind of cool.
And that's what we're gonna do on here.
Supers.
We have a bunch of people still watching us, which I appreciate, even though we've already gone 20 minutes. I'm not sure what we've said. Just kidding. Just 11 minutes and 25 seconds. But I guess let's start with, why don't we, with your favorite horse to win this race. Let's just go right into it.
All right.
And that is not the favorite that you think is most likely. That's your favorite bet.
My favorite bet is...
let me phrase that again. Let's save that for the end to keep people around here. So you're going to go with... I got to turn this back to where I just was.
Let me just run through the field real quick. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. One is Renegade. We start there because that is one of the 5 best horses in this field for sure. And the one position is the worst position in horse racing in this race in particular. You get jammed in the rail. Now the starting gate did change in 2020, so you're not like actually inside the rail. You don't have to go right. You know, you can go straight and still make it. But this stinks. Irad Ortiz really wishes that he wasn't going to be on this horse now. He got to choose between, I think, Commandment and Further Ado, and he chose Renegade before the post position draw, and here we are. He's now stuck fighting all 19 horses and trying to weave that magic throughout the whole race, unless he breaks first, which Renegade normally doesn't. Normally he comes from the mid pack, so it's going to be a lot of traffic, and you're going to get pinned to the rail. And if the horse in front of you doesn't run when you want to run, there's sometimes nowhere to go, and that's a really tough spot. The next one's Albus.
Brooks, trivia question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know who was in office the last time the horse in the number 1 position won the Derby?
2010. That was Obama. 2000. I think it was a round number like that. I don't know. Who was it?
Ronald Reagan. Yeah. 1986. Ferdinand.
That's right. Yeah, it's tough.
Damn. Ferdinand.
And this horse is at 4-1. Give me a break.
Yeah.
9-2 on the live odds. So it's even, it's going to be bet, and I'm not going to be one of them.
All right.
I want the public to hammer this horse, actually. So everybody bet this horse because it is one of the 5 best horses in one of the worst spots of all time.
All right. 6-1 odds next. We have Commandment, the number 6 horse. More in the middle.
So I like Commandment. Commandment's solid. There's nothing that Commandment has done wrong. He ran the Florida Derby and won by a nose. Here's what I'd like to bundle together. The 6-horse Commandment, the 9-horse the Puma, and the 12-horse Chief Wallaby all ran in the Florida Derby, and they all finished within half a horse of each other. I don't see how you can say, and this race is going to be 1/8 of a mile longer than that was. The Kentucky Derby is 1.25 miles. The Florida Derby was 1.1 miles. There's no telling who would have won that race if it was extended another 1/8 mile. So of those 3, the 6, the 9, and the 12, I'm going to take the best odds. I'm going to take where the money doesn't go. So Commandment is 6-1 morning line. Excellent horse. Nothing bad to say about him. Should be the favorite. Hits all the marks of speed and size and pedigree and all that you want. The Puma was 10-1 morning line. The 9-horse was second in the Florida by a nose to Commandment. Also hits all the marks. Chief Wallaby was 8-1 in the morning line. always runs well and checks all the boxes. So I'm going to be betting Chief Wallaby of that group. I'm going to leave Commandment and the Puma alone because they probably will be bet more than Chief Wallaby.
Why do you think that Chief Wallaby is less popular? 8-1
Well, he finished third. So, he finished third in that race, in the prep race, which is one of the most important prep races. The Florida Derby, I think, produces the most Derby winners of all. So there's the Santa Anita Derby and the Bluegrass Stakes and the Arkansas Derby and the Louisiana Derby. All those winners kind of come together. It's like conference tournaments in basketball, and then they come together, the big dance, which is this. And I just don't think there's that much difference in the horses. And to get better money on it, that's what I'm going to play with.
Biggie Spen, why do you disagree?
I like Commandment a lot. Like Brooks said, won the Florida Derby, won its conference tournament. Also got a nice little stat for you. Did you know the last 4 Derby winners have had exactly 35 days rest?
That makes sense.
Commandment.
How many days rest has Commandment had, Ben?
35 days rest. Commandment, Emerging Market, and I'm blanking on the third one. Renegade, but he's not going to win at the number 1.
Right. Canceled.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've gone through 16 minutes and 30 seconds, probably more than anyone expected. And I think you've done a good job of laying out the favorites that are interesting. Do you got any others that are lower down the totem pole, the odds totem pole, that is, A. Brooks bets?
Well, here how the race is going to set up with litmus test number 4, who's a Bob Baffert horse, in front at the beginning.
Cheater.
There are pace setters and
back.
closers.
I was worried that he would be suspended for life.
Yeah, he's won a lot, got suspended a lot. If you want a Baffert horse, I wouldn't even take litmus test. I would take Potente, which is the 14 horse, if you really like Baffert. And there's no reason to not like Baffert. He gets his horses ready for here.
Opening number was 20-1. 20-1 on Potente.
Yeah. Currently 27-1. So, the public's not on him quite yet. Probably will be by Saturday. My guess is probably closer to 20-1 is where he'll go. Litmus test is 39-1. Not as good of a horse, but will be out to the lead early. The other speed in this race, the people who are going the horses that will be leading it at the beginning are 6 speed, number 17. He will be first. He's a blazing fast sprinter. I would look for him more in the Preakness, which is going to be in 3 weeks from now, which is a shorter race than the Kentucky Derby. He fades by the end. He really is uncontrollable speed at the beginning. He might be clear of the field by 4 or 5 lengths when we get to the half pole and just completely run out of gas. I wouldn't. Now, that's a perfect trip, though. So sometimes, you never know. If he can somehow reel it in and the half mile, he's only 46 or so, 47 even, that would be awesome. And he might be able to close and hang on if there's a bunch of traffic behind him. But those 2 horses are going to start out. But I think this whole race is a race of closers. There's like 8 or 10 really good horses that want to come from mid pack, and they will, and they're going to close like freight trains. So I think the stretch run is going to be something to behold in this race in particular. I like Emerging Market 15. Flavian Pratt is I think like 16 for his last 20 in Triple Crown races, placing in the Superfecta. So first, second, third, or fourth. Like, this guy is there. I would want Emerging Market number 15 on all of your exotic bets, your superfectas and your trifectas. I think he's going to hit the board. He's only raced twice ever. Here's a trivia question, Ben. When's the last time a horse won the Derby that had only raced twice previously?
Was that the 50-1 horse?
No, he's 15-1 on the opening.
No. That horse that won a few years ago, that was 50-1. I'm blanking on the name of it.
No, this was 1886. The last time that a race,
a couple years ago,
that only raced twice has won the Derby. So this will be bucking all trends. A very green horse, a horse who hasn't ran very much, and 150,000 people is way different, even for an animal like that, than it is a regular Saturday somewhere else. So
fresh legs.
Maybe he turns up and loves it. Some horses love the big stage. They really do. Some of them need blinkers and freak out and don't know what to do and don't like the camera flashes and all sorts of stuff. It's just like cats and dogs. They all have different personalities. You never really quite know. But so I kind of look for calm horses. I look for horses that aren't worked up. It won't be hot, like you said, it's 60 degrees, so that's good. For almost all the horses that like to go fast at the beginning. But again, Incredible, number 11, loves Churchill Downs. Won twice as a 2-year-old at Churchill. Hasn't fared very well away from Churchill. So you look at the record and you're like, that doesn't look all that impressive. But then the 2 wins at Churchill. And here's an insider tip that I have to share. The bartender at the hotel 2 weeks ago in Louisville said that he goes to Churchill Downs a lot and he saw the horse. He's seen the horse. He's a 6:30 a.m. workout guy, like on the rail. He said Incredible cannot be ignored. So, I mean, those guys know what they're talking about. He's watching horses all day, every day. And then he comes to the hotel bar and does his thing. So Incredible, Churchill Downs, homer pick. It'd be like picking Shane Lowry at the Open Championship. You know, it's like, he's not the best golfer, but that's his home. That's where you're gonna bet a horse like that.
Rare to hear that A. Brooks Betts is somehow involved with the early on the rail at the hotel bar. We also do have some comments in here from @DirtyReg22, which I feel like we might as well throw on here. And I guess we'll start with his earliest comment, which you might be able to see on the screen. @DirtyReg22, I am really unsure of what that profile picture is.
Pork chops.
Yeah, pork chops.
Okay, I guess you guys can see it better than me. I'm not leaving Renegade off my top 3. Eddie Brooks Betts, what do you think about that?
Love it. Bet him up. That's where the money's going to go. I'm going to go somewhere else.
That's the favorite. Biggie's Ben already said he's got no
probably
chance.
Will be the favorite. If not, Commandment probably might be the favorite. But Renegade would absolutely be the favorite if he didn't draw the 1.
How about, I mean, still is the favorite, is he not?
Right.
Further ado for me is Dirty Reg's next comment.
All right, I like this guy a little better now. This is my pick to win. This is if I bet a lot of different ways and a lot of different things, but this is the best chance I think to win. This horse has the best chance to win. Whether you bet him or not depends on the number, but 6-1 right now live. It was 6-1 morning value, so it hasn't changed very much. Mm-hmm. Checks all the boxes. Irad Ortiz, the jockey, is probably the best. He's probably like the number 1. He gets to kind of choose who he wants to ride. He picked Renegade. He's probably kicking himself now. He's been riding Further Ado and Renegade.
But they don't know the starting slots until far after they pick the horse to ride on, right?
Correct. So if Irad knew that Renegade drew the 1, he would not have picked Renegade.
So they're the horses are that close that the starting position means I'm not taking that horse because it's in a bad spot.
Especially for a jockey. That's not fun. I don't think that's fun, getting banged up against a rail. Or you could be like horse 18 and you're just flying by yourself on the outside. Hopefully you get to, the 4 or 5 path by the time you get to the first turn to save some ground, but you're not going to be in any early trouble necessarily from the 18 hole.
Okay, next comment. Albus, a toss for me. I'll engage with you.
I agree. Tossed. I just don't see anything. It's a closer, but he's not fast enough.
I feel like are those horse racing terms? Because I don't know if Biggie Spen understands them.
A toss means you just don't bet it in anything. Not first, second, third, fourth, fifth, nothing. You just back of the pack and also ran.
Why did he say I'll engage with you?
I don't know. Looks like he's.
I don't know if that was
like he's rolling through the list.
All right. I guess he wants to get engaged. Last comment that I have that I can see so far is Commandment win contender. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Commandment, the Puma, and Chief Wallaby all ran the same last race. I don't know what would have happened with another 8th mile. I'm taking the horse with the best number.
Here we go. Got another one. Welcome in, Stevie B _65. A lot of value in Danon Bourbon. Don't sleep on the 7 horse.
All right. This is my buddy from work. Steve.
Danon.
Shout out
Bourbon,
Steve.
Maybe.
He'll
Hey,
be at
Steve.
the Derby party on Saturday.
Hey, Steve. Enjoy the smoked butts and whatever else is there. Other butts, too.
We're doing ribs and fried chicken for the main.
Okay.
The non-Bourbon is undefeated and a Japanese horse who has never won the Derby. They're 0 for 21. This is a close chance. A lot has to go right. First of all, they run backwards, so he's got to go counterclockwise instead of clockwise. Like he literally has to turn around on the track. He flies from Japan to the UAE to run in that Derby, wins it, and then has to fly to America. So like, it's a long way. It's a long path here. Maybe that's a reason they haven't won, but Japan has seriously been taken.
I mean, that flight is hard enough for Big East Ben with eye shades on the whole time. So I have no idea what it's like for a horse.
I know, right?
I bet the Japanese horse every single year. One day they'll win.
They will. That's what people say. I mean, they have the brood stock. They have the horses over there. They paid a lot of money to get a lot of good bloodlines in Japan. It's not like they're lacking for class. It's just a long trip, and they haven't done it yet. But they will.
We know, based on scouting reports of Japanese athletes, they're hard workers. They follow the rules, which is honestly really important because the Kentucky Derby I went to, Lindsay and I, Ben, we bet one horse to show, and they came in fourth. And show means that it needs to finish top 3, and so we left without cashing our tickets. Why are you?
I know what show means.
I'm saying not for you, for the rest of the people. Okay. Jesus Christ. I don't think everyone watches horse racing. I literally don't even know any of these things at all. Ooh, plot twist. But we left because we thought we lost. But apparently the winner had veered in front and like blocked the path. And it was like an obstacle. And so that win was thrown out. And so somehow we had to cash some tickets. And she mailed hers in and it got lost in the mail. So she never got her money, which is really horrible. And I don't know if that's a reference on her. But anyway. I think the interesting to me is that, I mean, I'm really more talking about the soccer players, but I think the Japanese are extremely hard workers. We've seen that through wartime and also through sports of all types. Never surrender. Might just fly without enough gas to get back, but maybe that happens here as well. So tell me about the performance of Japanese horses, because I've heard this before. The foreigners, how do they do in this event? Because we do have an entire established police force that tries to keep foreigners away.
Well, I'm going to make some stuff up here. I think I'm right, but I think it's kind of all started with Fusaichi Pegasus a long time ago. That's 20 years ago, probably. Started a good bloodline. The Japanese got really interested in it. I mean, just last year, Forever Young was a Japanese horse and almost won the Derby. So they're getting close. Like I said, there's no other than the long trip and the backwards racing, and there's a couple things you can point to, but really, if you just look at the clock and you look at the horses and you look at the bloodlines, there's no reason not to pick them, really. I mean, these horses fly around all the time. Obviously, a 10-hour flight's longer than a 2-hour flight from Arkansas to Florida or wherever they do in the United States. But I think
you mean they're not driving these horses just up the highway?
I think they fly better than we do. Yeah.
I figured they're in one of those little trailers that was stuck on the tollway in traffic with me this week.
Guess no. Yeah. No. They're in business class.
Must be a big plane. Okay, so we're gonna give out some exotics because Averse Bets has those on his card already. Big East Ben might as well. We're also gonna pick our horse to win the Derby. Do you want to get into that now, or is there something else you want to cover before we get further? Big East Ben, do you have any more stats you want to read?
I was going to say, Brooks, has there been – so did they also race backwards in Australia and the UAE?
That's just their toilets. They flush backwards.
No, in the UAE they don't, but in Japan they do.
Have you ever heard of the Australian horse Far Lap?
I've not.
Between 1926 and 1932, he won 36 out of 41 races. They then brought him to the United States. He mysteriously died. People thought it was the mob that killed him. Turns out his trainer, while on his deathbed, admitted that he gave him the wrong medicine and poisoned him. I saw the stuffed horse when I was in Australia. But yeah, legendary racehorse. I'm just wondering if there's ever been an Australian racehorses since.
No, not that I know of. That's not a big market to bring horses to the Derby.
All right. They race kangaroos over there. So I don't think I see any more comments. Thank you to all of you to come in and engage. Look forward to you coming into the soccer podcast as well and asking.
By the way, I like this platform. We should use it for TNFS.
Yeah. So this is StreamYard. In case anyone wants a referral, you can probably click it in the wherever the heck this is being posted, where you see it. I'm sure there's links to it. It is a good live streaming platform. And apparently you can record episodes now, so we might not be using Zoom anymore. It doesn't seem like we have time limits either, which is really nice, but we'll see if that ends up coming up. With that said, I don't know how we did it, but we made it 30 minutes already. I think before we get into our best bets, which are our picks to win the race and potentially any exotics, does anyone want to recap the Final Four in Indianapolis the last time we saw each other, which was almost a month ago?
Everything was awesome except the games.
Yeah. The games themselves, they didn't live up to the Houston, Florida game and all that stuff we saw in San Antonio, but it was great. Yeah, it was fantastic. 2 steakhouses down.
I think there's one other rough thing, and it involved Big East Ben at lunchtime and a shrimp cocktail sauce, is what I remember.
I can't believe that's so popular. I mean, I like spicy stuff, but that's like those shrimp cocktails are in fuego. I mean, it's straight horseradish. It's like it's a potent sauce, and they're known for it, and we had it, and here we are. We live to see another day.
Thoughts on Indianapolis as a town?
Yeah,
great. Number one so far of the three by far.
Interesting. Better than San Antonio, huh?
Yeah, just the Alamo Dome was such a dump.
Yeah.
The stadium itself.
How awesome! Like, remember how narrow the concourse was at the Alamo Dome? It was insane.
Yeah, I mean, no real teams play there, so I get that. How would you rate the stadium food at the State Farm Arena in Phoenix versus the stadium food in Indianapolis?
I wouldn't feed Lucas Oil Stadium food to my dog.
What about the horses on this podcast we just discussed?
Ben and I both got $16 hot dogs. They were terrible. They were so bad.
I think we all got them.
I ate it too. I still am shivering from the frozen guacamole that they put on. I still don't understand that one, but it was what it was. And I actually had a flashback because I had the Stars game last night. My friend of mine got a hot dog as well, and I was like, "Oh my god, tell me there's no guacamole on it. It's not chilled, as they would call it." Okay. Other than that, we'll see you all next year in what town?
Detroit
City.
Detroit. Yes, where it's going to be probably extra cold. I really hope Michigan's not going to be there because then tickets will be impossible. But shout out to our guy, Bob Bradley, who we met outside of the arena. He's actually in Louisville. So if anyone's going out there, hit me up, look him up. He said anyone who's coming down last minute is certainly welcome. Could be.
If we don't have a time limit, I mean, we got to take a little pit stop at Texas transfer portal. We're like top 12 in odds to win the national championship next year. I mean, I don't really know much about it. David Punch from TCU, I saw.
Yeah.
We got Vokatitis back.
Yeah.
Got a guard from Colorado. Not bad. Oh, I mean,
did you get the number 4 player in the portal according to Evan Mia?
Probably not.
Who's Evan?
We got like 7 and 15 or something.
That'd be Sananda Frew, your new starting center at the Marquette University.
I just didn't know that Marquette knew you could take transfers.
Yeah, Shaka explored it. We also got this dude from St. Thomas, Nolan Minasale, giant neck, like best neck in Division I.
Yeah,
that's how Big East Ben would recruit, just looking for the best necks on the basketball court. All right, as everyone's dropping off, they don't care about our stories anymore. Let's get to our best bets. Before we get that, hit the subscribe button at @the_Real_G Warner on YouTube, on Instagram. I'll try to figure out a way to make this into a reel, though Instagram keeps changing their policies and it's really pissing me off. If you're looking for us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, it's called Betting the Pitch. We're going to try to figure out a way to make it a little bit more sensible with the naming and all that sort of stuff, but it's hard enough to get subscribers. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you all for supporting the podcast. Of course, if you want more horse racing content, certainly it lives a lot on the other 2 screens on this podcast, but we could do that. There's 2 other big races that are coming up in that so-called Triple Crown. So everyone get ready for that as well. We might see you in a week or 2 weeks, depending on how this goes, especially if we win all our bets. Then you might see more of us. We'll start with Big East Ben. Who are you picking as your winner? And of course, exotic bets can come after that. But who is your winner for this 2026, the something running of the Kentucky Derby, the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby, May 2nd, 2026. Who's your pick to win the Kentucky Derby, Big East Ben?
I'm picking the Florida Derby winner, a horse that fits the 35-day rest profile, a horse with a biblical name. I'm going with Commandment, 6-1.
Number 6 horse at Abrams Bets. Where are you going for your pick?
My pick is Further Ado, the 18 horse at 6-1. Also, checks all the boxes. I think it has the best chance to get the best trip, and that's what you want in the 20 horse field of the Derby. I think that I'll be right in the garden spot as it comes to the first turn and cruise on in.
I'm really tempted for my pick to just go fade Big East Bend and pick Renegade, but I'm not going to do it. We're going Chief Wallaby, 8-1, number 12 horse. And those are our picks. Chief Wallaby right here. Big East Bend's going Commandment, the 6 horse. I had the 12, Chief Wallaby.
Chief Wallaby's 13-1 now, so you're getting better value.
Even better value. That's what I'm about. Big value.
Commandment is 7-1.
Commandment 7-1 up for 6-1. That's a 6 horse with Big East Bend's pick. Further Ado, the 18 is Abrams Bet's pick.
I'll tell you the worst bet is going to be number 8, So Happy. There's a sentimental story there, and I don't really know what it is. It has to do with like a death of a 2-year-old. It's actually pretty sad, but it's going to run 6 times on Saturday on NBC, and people are going to start betting this horse because it's the feel-good story, and it's got a really good name, So Happy and all that. I mean, right now, like you saw, what's the morning line was 15-1 morning line, and is bet down to 6-1 already. So you're just not going to get any value. I mean, the horse hasn't done anything wrong, but you know, it's going to be that story that you hear a bunch about on Saturday. And unfortunately, you shouldn't bet with your heart.
Do horses believe in sentiment?
Who died? You're so stupid.
I'm just saying, people will bet that horse more than they need to. That's the worst bet of the Derby.
Well, I'll tell you, I bet Any Given Saturday many years ago because I love the name, and I think it finished dead last, and I never even saw it on the screen. And I was worried it got euthanized because I was like, oh, man, I killed another horse. But that, I guess, will do it for this, unless we got some exotics you want to throw out there, either of you. Big East Bend.
Yeah. So my exacta is Commandment and Further Ado. My trifecta is Commandment, Further Ado, and Emerging Market. And my superfecta is those 3 plus Dubon Bourbon from Japan. And then also just a watch out pick, a pick that could possibly change the future of the Big East Conference. That is Great White at 50-1. Providence head coach Brian Hodgson already tweeted out that he was running. All those drunk degenerates in Providence are going to be laying money on this horse. If that hits, watch out for Providence's NIL in the next few years.
Mike Rapoli is a St. John's guy, right? The billionaire from Body Armor.
Yeah. Does he own that horse?
He owns one, Renegade.
Okay.
Yeah. So
another reason to fuck Renegade.
Another Big East implication there. If you win.
Can you actually please explain, Big East Ben, what the heck you were saying with Great White and Brian Hodgson?
That's his nickname, Great White Shark. I don't know why. I think because his hairline's kind of receding into a fin.
Got it. I just figured because he could clearly recruit his wife or his fiance or whatever she was each time he takes a new job. Abrams Bets, you going with your exacta, superfecta, trifecta, umlau fecta?
My best 4 values. This is not really the order. You know, this is not who I think is most likely to win. But the best 4 values in a bet I will be placing is 18 Further Ado, 12 Chief Wallaby, 15 Emerging Market, and then sprinkle in 11 Incredibolt. Incredibolt with the hometown and bump here. I also like Renegade, Commandment, the Puma. There's some good horses in here, but I'd have them lower on my list to hit the board at 3rd or 4th, not to win it.
Yeah, if you pick 12 of them, that should cover your bases.
That's really good.
I could just see Brooks in the corner with his big screen TV on 4K on, just spanking himself with a little newspaper thing. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want more of these episodes, hit us up at Abrams Bets, at Big East Ben, at @the_G Warner on Twitter. And we'll see y'all next time on the next horse racing edition, assuming we don't get banned from all the streaming channels.